because the young talent of Emirates is very vibrant, very lively, very fresh, and very, very innovative. So I would like to invite Noora Alawadi on the stage. Please welcome her on the stage.
Thank you, everyone. It was, let me say, it was very inspirational. I always love going to conferences where I see success stories about women specifically, mainly because I've been lucky enough to have many leadership who are women who inspired me to become better. And that's the reason why it was easier for me to reach many successes in my workforce and in my entrepreneurship journey, because they taught me how to go through the way in a more strategic way, let's say. So introduction, my name is Noora Alawadi. I'm mainly a strategy specialist at Dubai Economy and Tourism. And my topic today is about art and technology. So why art and technology? First of all, we are in a digital conference, so obviously it's going to be technology. And just the background about myself, I am a very technical person. I come from a technical background. I was in computer forensics investigation with EY. So I was the only female in the group. Yeah, I was the lab manager, so technology is kind of in my blood. My full-time job is a technical job. Even though it's strategy, it's also connected to technology. Where does art come in? Where does it come in? So let me start off with why technology. I think you would know that, but basically from being on future planning boards, we all know that the future is going to be very digital. And for us, we need to prepare for the future. We need the younger generations to be able to be more dynamic. So skilling them in a way that they can become able to process these technologies, to be able to adapt to the future and not just go backwards. So this is where art comes in. Just to tell you a little background, so the schooling systems, not all of them, but some of them are still living in the older generations. In the third industrial revolution generation, where some schools, they still teach us to memorize. And they still teach younger people to memorize. And in that way, they create factory workers. But we don't need factory workers anymore. We are moving into a more digital world. We need more dynamic thinkers, concept thinkers. We need more artists and creatives. This is where I come into art. To me, art is history. Art is communication and education. Art is development. And this is kind of a way that I deal with performance management in my job. History, the past, communication and education, the present, and development, the future. Why do I say history in arts? The reason why I say this is because a lot of our newer generation are so much influenced by newer media that is not connected to our past. For example, my great-grandfather was a poet. He had so many poems that he recited to all of the villagers. Unfortunately, we don't have any record of that. The last person who remembered his poems now has Alzheimer's. Unfortunately, in our time, we didn't document a lot of the artistic or the history that we had before. This is why our past and our history is important. Communication and education. Right now, being in a position where I am able to help youth, it is important to show them or direct them, guide them in the way that we or they could more benefit from. direct them into understanding future concepts, into understanding concepts that could assist them in their lifetime. Because as I said, they think they're factory workers, but they're more creative workers right now that we need. It's like, for example, communication and education. For me, when nobody understands this about me, but when I'm in a class, the professors always tell me to stop scribbling. But what I am doing is that I am translating what you're saying to art, so I can understand. This is where animation comes in. This is where gaming comes in. Moving towards development, the future. Development is, let's say, creatives or artists developing the metaverse. I know many people, not many, some people do not believe in the metaverse. They think it is something that is, just for the younger people. But the thing is about the metaverse, our younger generations are already living in the metaverse. It already exists. So if it already exists, let's not fight it. Let's join it. Let's influence it. Let's influence them. Why do I bring all of these things up? This is the reason why I think, first of all, digital art is very important, especially coming from coming from our cultures. Let me tell you something. This is the reason why I started Mend Academy, and why I wanted to write the story about a superhero called Khalifa, a teenage superhero called Khalifa. The reason for this is because younger people are influenced by stories. They're influenced by exciting things that will get them to, jump around the place, to play with their friends, to wear hoodies of Superman or Spider-Man. Why not a Khalifa? Like I said, the issue that we have with media, it's fully conquered by other cultures. And there are many cultures here. And I want to bring this message to everyone. Because during my journey creating this brand, something that I've heard a lot is, why don't you make this character universal? And I hated that. Because there is no such thing as universal. Because when I asked them, what is universal? They would give me examples that are either American or Japanese. Why not UAE being universal? Why not Nigeria being universal? By the way, we have a book that's co-written by a Nigerian young person who lives in the UAE. Oh, you're also... Oh. Because we have a lot of also Nigerian youth here. Oh, and she's my co-writer. We have a book with her. So it's... Yeah, it's everyone. It's basically it's basically just showing our cultures to the world. We need to, we need to take charge. Khalas. This is why we didn't just start from books. We're also doing animations. We're also doing gaming. And this is just from my company. I'm not mentioning some of the bigger organizations we're collaborating with to make UAE and the people who lived with us in the UAE a universal concept. Let's be the next Marvel and Disney of the world. Thank you.